back to the channel. Today is part 2 of my fashion breakdown on Jared Leto. If you didn't catch the first part, you can go down to the link in the description below or click the iCard in the top right of this video to go check that out. Now, let's get into some outfits. The first one that I really want to talk about is his red plaid Gucci suit that he wore to the GQ Men of the Year Awards in 2017. The full plaid of this suit, I think, looks absolutely amazing, and something that I really want to point out about it is that it's all 100% perfectly matched. If you caught my last sewing video where I repurposed a bunch of old plaid men's shirts into a dress, then you'll remember me talking about how important it is to match your plaid. That means that when you have two different pieces of plaid that are coming together, whether to be sewn together or just placed next to each other, you want the horizontal and vertical lines of the plaid to line up with each other. That makes the pattern look really continuous and flowing, and it won't get broken up because the lines are disconnected from each other. Now, this is a designer suit, so obviously the plaid is going to be matched. It's not just expected but mandatory when you're buying a Gucci suit, but the degree to which everything is matched really impressed me. Not just on the left and right hand side of the jacket, but also the jacket is matched to the pants vertically. So that took a ton of pre-planning, knowing how these garments were gonna sit on the body, and all of this has to be considered before you even cut the fabric out. So you basically have to roll it out, place your patterns on top of it, and then figure out a way to make sure that it's gonna be lined up when it's finally sewn up into a finished garment. Outside of that, of course, we have these big black lapels serving as this absolutely gorgeous focal point, and that has this really nice floral embroidery on it, not just on the front of the lapels, but actually wrapping all the way around behind his head. Something that you wouldn't see on a cheaper or lower quality suit. I really love this outfit because it's taking something so classic and oftentimes kind of boring, a men's suit, and bringing in all of these different elements to make one really interesting concoction. We have a little touch of punk from the plaid, and then of course a little touch of femininity as well, coming through with the floral on the lapels. Next up is this super luxurious blue velvet coat that Jared Leto wore to the premiere of Suicide Squad in 2016. This, of course, is a fantastic statement piece, and of course, I want to take a really close look at the embroidery. There's a lot of floral going on the lapels, on the sleeves, on the back, and then of course on the lower front as well. Then there's a giant lion head on the upper back of the jacket, which of course is yellow and orange, and that looks really nice. It's contrasting really well with the blue velvet. And then on the front, on the lower sort of area of the jacket, we have some koi fish, and if you look really closely, Donald Duck. That is right, Donald Duck is present on this designer Gucci jacket. It seems really random, but Gucci does do a lot of fun, playful collections. For example, for the Chinese Year of the Pig, they released this whole collection that had the 3 little pigs on it, and it was sort of different accessories like backpacks, robes, jackets, all sort of different stuff. So they're definitely not new to using this sort of iconic cartoonish imagery, but I think it adds sort of like a really fun, playful element to an outfit that could be kind of serious. Outside of the embroidery on the jacket, there's also some really gorgeous trim and piping. If you look along his lapels and then the center front of the jacket, you'll see that there's this piping, oftentimes used along the edge of pillows and a lot of different things in upholstery, but it can also be used in clothing as well. And basically it's sort of like a tubular little shape of trim that has sort of a long rectangular side to it that you can actually use to insert into the fabric. And then the little sort of piping edge sticks out along the outside. So the one that they're using here is sort of twisted. It's 2 different colors twisted together. And that's sewn all the way along the edge of his lapels, down the front of the jacket, and along the hem as well. Plus, there's also some gold shiny trim top stitch on the lapels and on his arms as well. I really like this outfit and outfits in general that are sort of centered around one main bold piece. As you can see here, he has on this big, boxy, bright, elaborate jacket, but then he's gone ahead and paired it with some really simple stuff, like a white tank top and black pants. That, I think, was the exact right move, because when you're wearing something as bold as this jacket is, you don't want it to be fighting with or contrasting too hard with the other pieces in your outfit. Now, moving backwards ever so slightly, we're gonna talk about this outfit that Jared Leto wore to the Film Independent Spirit Awards in 2014. This outfit isn't as sort of loud or bold as a lot of the other outfits on this list, but I really wanted to include it because it's just a really nice, sort of chic, classic rock star look. He has on this Balmain moto jacket. As well, he's got red plaid tied around his waist, black skinny jeans, and a stripy scarf. I think that this is a really great outfit that anyone can pull off, you guys at home included, and it's kind of fun how he's mixing the 2 different prints that do really coordinate well together in one outfit. Next up, we have an outfit that Jared Leto wore to a Gucci Fall Winter 2017 fashion show. He does, of course, as I mentioned in part 1, attend many fashion shows, so a lot of looks on this list are actually the outfits that he wears to those events. This one is a really interesting one, and there's a lot to break down here. He's got on this light wash denim jacket, a printed hoodie underneath, some shorts, and then under underneath the shorts, some sort of like long underwear type pants. Which is kind of interesting because typically when men or anyone really wears pants underneath shorts, they're usually very fitted and sort of skin tight. These ones, on the other hand, are rather loose and they're almost like pajama looking. It's a little weird, but I don't totally mind it. The only thing that I would change about this outfit is that I wish he wasn't wearing the sunglasses and the hood up with the hat. It totally looks, and actually might even be, for the purpose of sort of hiding him while he's out in public so that people maybe don't recognize him, but it just kind of looks like he's not as confident in this look because he's so hidden by it, you know? So I kind of wish he had just shed all of that, and then of course the top part of this look is amazing. Like I said, denim jacket, printed hoodie. I love the light wash with the sort of bold lettering on it, and then the print on the hoodie underneath is sort of red and yellow and contrasting nicely with that blue. Layering hoodies with jean jackets is a classic combo and something that you can't really go wrong with. It always looks good for fall. Heading back to 2014 again, we have this look that Jared Leto wore to Coachella. This is another outfit on this list that isn't crazy extravagant, but something that is stylish and something that you guys at home can easily pull off for yourselves. Here he's just got on a simple white muscle tank, zebra print pants, Vans slip-ons, and a plaid shirt just casually tied around his waist. He looks like an 80s rock star Jesus here, which I totally do not mind at all. I also really wanted to include this look because I feel as though it's a really good example of how you can incorporate more prints into your wardrobe. If maybe you're considering doing it but you're not really sure how, I think that this is a really good example. Next up, we're heading the complete opposite direction from this Coachella outfit to his pink fur coat that he wore to a Gucci show in 2019. Sometimes when doing these videos, I come across looks that I absolutely love, but can't exactly describe why, and this is definitely one of those looks. It's a massive, huge cotton candy or bubblegum sort of pink fur coat with a blue and gold Hawaiian shirt, not buttoned up all the way, and then red pants. As well, the accessories are crazy. We have on some Gucci running shoes, sunglasses, and a straw hat, of all things. None of these pieces really go together. I wouldn't put them together personally or even imagine doing something like this, but as a whole, when you evaluate it, I kind of love it. This look is definitely sort of out there. It's not an everyday look by any means, considering the jacket that it's paired with, but you know, I love it. It's just sort of the essence of cool in a way. Next up is another Jared Leto Gucci fashion show look, this one from 2020. Now, before we actually talk about the outfit, I have to tell you a little something about myself. And that is, I love 1970s fashion. The 70s is hands down my favorite fashion decade. It's where I draw the most of my inspiration from for my own personal style. And all in all, I'm just in love with it. I love bell bottoms. I love peasant tops and dresses. I love even the tackier stuff that was popular in that decade. I think it's all just really awesome. And so now when we take a look at Jared Leto in these electric blue bell bottoms and gold disco boots, you can understand exactly why I love this outfit as much as I do. He's paired those two items with a blazer with a diamond Gucci brooch on it. Plus underneath that, he has on this floral sort of loose blouse, if you will. The print on it also looks really vintage and it has sort of a dramatic orange collar. And then all of that is paired with a super wide brim hat, which I absolutely love those hats. Basically, I'm a sucker for any outfit that includes a black wide brim hat, but this one especially because he honestly looks as though he is about to head out to the disco that night. It's flamboyant, it's fun, it's bold, and most importantly, it's stylish. Next up, we're going all the way back to 1998 for one of, if not my #1 favorite Jared Leto looks. This look is of course so unique for him. He doesn't have his long trademark brown hair. Instead, he has short platinum blonde hair and eyebrows, no beard, and he's wearing a boxy white jacket with some pinstripe pants. Now, this jacket, of course, is a dead giveaway that this photo was taken in the 1990s. Back then, men's jackets and suits in general were a lot baggier, boxy, just sort of looser fitting. Today, we're into more of like a tailored look, especially around the waist and through the shoulders. But here you can see that the shoulders on this jacket are massive. They're way bigger than his actual shoulders are. So, you know, of course, it is a bit dated, but I love how it's paired with a white shirt underneath that's actually sort of semi-transparent. You can like a little bit see through it, but not really. And then of course that's tucked into the pinstripe pants, and on his feet he's wearing leopard print creepers. He is wearing the ultimate punk footwear on a red carpet in 1998, and it is amazing. His modern looks are so amazing to me. They're so incredible and unique and creative. They're like the epitome of being creative, really. But this look at the same time appeals to my sort of like inner punk emo kid self. I absolutely love it. And one last little final note before I move on from this outfit. If you look really closely, he's actually wearing blue nail polish, so 10 out of 10 for covering all the details. Now, next up, we have our last and final 2 looks, both of which were worn to a Met Gala. Now, if you don't know what the Met Gala is, it's essentially a yearly yearly fundraising ball held at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and the money raised goes to their Costume Institute. Celebrities, of course, are the ones who attend. They actually, I believe, pay money to go so that the money that they pay goes towards the fundraiser. And there's always a theme, and they dress according to that theme. Now, the theme for the 2018 Met Gala was Heavenly Bodies, Fashion in the Catholic Imagination. And Jared Leto took this pretty literally. He looked like the most fashionable Jesus at this event. He wore a powder blue tuxedo with a pale pink dress shirt underneath with a little tie neck, huge navy lapels, and then of course a very intricate white and gold stole, or a priest sash. This of course was paired with a nice dress shoe and a gold floral crown, literally channeling Jesus Christ himself. But it's such a good look, it's so elaborate. Like the floral embossing that's happening on that sash, on that stole, is so intricate and so beautiful. It absolutely just screams luxury and quality. Same with the texture of the tuxedo. It's very soft and sort of luxe looking. And then of course there's actually some embroidery on the jacket itself as well. There's sort of like a little chain of leaves almost happening on the front of his jacket. The interesting thing about this look is that it was actually coordinated with the designer Alessandro Michele and Lana Del Rey. So the three of them had outfits designed by Michele and they all kind of went together. This was around the time of the Gucci Guilty campaign, so they were all already working together on that. And all of their outfits had the sort of consistent, like very light cream, plus the gold filigree, sort of floral patterns, and then a little bit of blue as well. Next up is what is probably Jared Leto's most iconic outfit ever. And this was for the Met Gala in 2019, for which the theme was Camp Notes on Fashion. This was again designed by Gucci, of course, like many of the things that Jared Leto wears. And here he has on that gorgeous red satiny gown, super long, big shoulders, crystal harness over top, and then a casual replica of his own head. Let's start by talking about the head in this look. It seemed to a lot of people at the time, and probably still today, to be totally out of left field. Like, why? Essentially. But actually, this wasn't the first time that Gucci had included this sort of idea. For their fall 2018 collection, they actually had the same sort of thing going on where they sent models down the runway holding replicas of their own heads. As well as the gown and the harness, he had on some really beautiful little delicate lace gloves with some sort of rhinestones and floral sort of embroidery happening around the wrists. And it all just is like a really gorgeous outfit. And of course, you can't go wrong with the harness, with a crystal rhinestone harness. This look to me is absolutely incredible. It is, when I think of sort of high fashion or notable celebrity outfits, this is one for me that always comes to mind. And I honestly do believe that it will go down as one of the most interesting / exciting moments in celebrity fashion history. A little fun side note about this look is that to this day, Jared Leto does not know what happened to the head. The head has not been seen by him since that night. All right, you guys, so that is the fashion portion of the video. I feel as though over the last 5 to 10 years, Jared Leto has really come into his own fashion-wise, and I feel as though a lot of that is influenced by his close personal relationship with the designer Alessandro Michele. It's really fun and interesting to see what they come up with together, and I love seeing Jared Leto express his personality and his creativity through clothing. He also, of course, continuously pushes the bounds of what is acceptable to be worn on red carpets and on stage. But before we fully wrap up this video, I wanted to touch on one little thing that I mentioned briefly in the last video, and that is this whole news headline about how Jared Leto has supposedly started a cult. That's weird, right? That's weird. That's weird. Let's talk about it. Obviously, to start with, 30 Seconds to Mars has always had a very strong, connected, devoted fan base. They even have a name for themselves, calling themselves the Echelons. And something that 30 Seconds to Mars oftentimes does for their fans is they set up these sort of events or these like summer camps, quote unquote, that you could call them, called Camp Mars, where their fans can go and hang out with them for a few days, and it's sort of like a music festival, arts and crafts, yoga, camping, all that kind of good stuff. Now, tickets to these events are, of course, quite expensive. As expected. After doing a little bit of research, I saw that the cheaper sort of packages, I guess, come for maybe $700-800 up to $1,000, and then well beyond that up to like $6K for 3 days. But now the most recent of these events, I believe, happened in Croatia on something they were calling Mars Island. It was again a similar event where it was like a music festival. You got to sort of see the band, talk with the band, do activities with them, you know, playing instruments, yoga, all that kind of good stuff, hiking in nature. But some photos came out from this event with the caption, "Yes, this is a cult, #Mars Island." And of course we have to talk about the photos themselves, because that really is what made this sort of have an impact and blow up in the media a little bit as well, I think. In them you can see Jared Leto walking along a beach wearing these long white flowy Jesus-y robes, followed by hundreds of people behind him also in white. Or there's another image where he's sitting on a stool as though he's giving some sort of speech or talking to the crowd, which are all kneeled on the floor sort of in front of him. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit weird for sure. Now, was this tweet from the band saying, yes, this is a cult, a joke? The band has been referring to their fans as a cult for years as a joke, first in 2013 as a response to people saying that they have a cult-like following. But is this really like a true cult in the sense of the word, like a Jonestown or something like that? Honestly, I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure, of course, but I kind of think that like them saying this is what set this media storm on fire, and then people sort of got carried away with these headlines and making it all such a big deal, like, oh my god, it's a cult, Jared Leto has a cult, holy crap. Like, don't get me wrong, he definitely looks like he could play the role of cult leader with his long hair and white flowy robes and all of this stuff, but I don't think that there's really any harm being done here, other than to people's wallets. As far as I can tell, all these videos, all these headlines are a little bit dramatic and clickbaity, and as long as, no harm is coming to these people, nothing bad is happening at these events, no one is being, injured, whether psychologically, physically, whatever, in any way, I don't think there's really anything wrong here. It's a little unsettling to think that perhaps they're sort of taking advantage of their fans for monetary gain, charging them, such high prices to be able to just go into the woods with them for 3 days. But outside of that, people, as far as I can tell, are receiving what they were promised for what they paid. So yeah, I don't know, Jared Leto, a cult leader? You let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this. And that, you guys, is where I'm gonna end today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed. I had a ton of fun researching Jared Leto because there is just more information on him than anybody else I've covered in the past. I got to dig through literal decades of outfits and choose the ones that I liked the most and connected with me the most, and the ones that I wanted to talk about. I think that I covered sort of a range of outfits. We talked about a couple older ones from the 90s, we talked about some more casual looks, and then of course some of his more extravagant and quirky looks. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite, and also let me know who else you would like to see on a fashion breakdown in the future. This will be my last video of 2020, but don't worry, I'll be back in 2021 with even more fashion breakdowns, some of which will be on people outside of the music industry, so you can look forward to that as well. Thank you so much, as always, for checking out this video, and I will see you all next time.